June 23rd, 2016. Here's my goal. I want to make an animated show about my life living with my fiancée MP and our lives as we start our business and how things go. I'm not sure how long each episode is going to be, but I know it's going to start out with 13 episodes chronicling parts of my life, our lives, and how things change as we get into it. Here's the thing. I don't know how to animate at all. I know how to draw, and my work has been popular with certain groups, but being the recluse I am, I've never had much commercial success. So I'm doing this to get something done and try to make a living. I'm going to broadcast every single part of the work process that is required to finding your style, learning to write scripts, animating, voiceover acting, and making a production from start to end. I'll be putting the finished products up on YouTube, and we'll see how well it goes. I'm broadcasting it to stay out of my head, have people to be held accountable to, and to document the process from start to hopefully a successful ending. So I'm studying animation and art videos daily. I've written ideas for the first 13 episodes down, and I've been waiting to get started. Did I mention I'm going to do it all on my iPad? That's right, all the writing, character creation, storyboards, animations, voice acting, and music on this guy right here. I'd be doing it on the computer, but I got this to replace my computer, and I want to prove to myself that it's doable with the right software. It was a gift since I couldn't afford it myself. Thanks again. I'll do a Twitch stream while I go about it so I can track the progress and chat about things on my mind. I've got nothing else to say, so let's get started. The first part, once you have the idea for the concept of the series down, i.e. autobiographical with dry humor thrown in, I think I may eventually end up learning to animate, if I do this right, haha, is character design. There are 4 main characters so far that I've got an idea of. There's myself, my fiancé, Nedios, and our 2 dogs, A and L. The 2 of us are going to be cats. I'm calling the series Cat's Tales. Our dogs are going to be hamsters or guinea pigs. Seems like a good way to break it up, like how cats see the other animals around the house. So let's start with my character. With the character design, it makes it easy to figure out the character if you define the character type, so let's do that. I'm in my late 20s, I'm slightly overweight, 6 feet tall, I'm mentally ill, and I like the color green. So let's block it out. 6 heads tall, or shall we focus on the head type first? Actually, let's go with different head shapes until we get something we like and build the body from there. So basic head shapes are circle, tall ellipse, wide ellipse, rectangle, and triangle. Draw 5 types, or a combination of those shapes. Since we know that he's going to be slightly chubby and I dislike sharp angles, let's disregard the triangle shape. Cross out triangle. So you've got your shapes, so let's add volume lines. It's better if you have them facing different directions to expand your style, but let's make them all face the same way, which will make sense later on and change the way they look. Let's start with the circular one and work our way right. Circular faces can look cute, but if they're round, it can also flatten them out, so let's add some cheek. It's still a round, but it adds volume. So I've been thinking about what types of faces to do, since any action I do once I've literally had to do thousands of times to make an animation, and while I can do super realistic styles, I'm going to go for a more cartoonish and simple style for the sake of easing the animation process. So I was thinking button eyes like this. I can always add in more expressive eyes as needed. I'm shooting for a mix of Hamtaro and Steven Universe if possible. Simple shapes animated as smoothly as I can make them. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but that's the goal. So let's try the facial styles. The mouth is important, so each of these characters will have different expressions, which will help me decide which type of mouth structure I want to use. Since the eyes are minimal, the mouths have to be expressive enough to compensate. Now that I've got these done, I can pick one I like or start another version and see how it sits with me. I don't want to right away pick one because I need to see how these shapes compare to other characters. Nedio's cat, so they're complementary while on screen, being similar but different enough to be their own characters. So let's do the same for her character. Her character is going to have fluffy hair, much like the hair Nedio's actually has. It'll add height and character to her build to make her stand out while on screen from other ancillary cats. June 24th, 2016. First animation. So you're starting out, huh? This is your first time trying something like this? You didn't realize how much work went into making me, did you? Thought it would be easy, right? Worth it, though. Goes from pencil sketches to solid line work. There I am, in the flesh. Oh, pretty colors. Love the backdrop. Where are we? Your workroom? Do you use a photograph as a reference? I can tell. That's okay, though. Gives it that clean look, doesn't it? It'll get easier with practice. So what's my name? Jay? Isn't that your nickname? Oh well, we can't all be original. Wry smile. I see you're thinking of calling the story Cat Tales, not Meow Meows like you originally intended. Oh, I get it. It's a play on words since all cats have tails. They must have tails as well. I would say it's clever, but I'm not here to stroke your ego. It's plenty big enough as it is. So, is this how it's going to be? You'll tell your story to me playing your part, some life events between you and those around you, occasional joke thrown in to make it watchable. Do I get to keep breaking the fourth wall? Nods camera. Excellent. Do I have to have your idiosyncrasies as well? The bipolarism, the delusional paranoia, the physical disabilities? Sometimes. Suppose I can't have everything. Wink. Okay, well, why don't you get back to work and I'll be here, your beginning. You can come back to check on me when you're feeling down and see how well we did whenever you want. I'll be here ready or whatever. Twiddle thumbs. Get shy. I'm excited for the new adventure. Or should I say cat's tails? Gotta remember branding and all that. Go on then. It'll be a trip. Wave it off. June 24th, 2016. Ding ding. Us walking on the path. Ding. Still walking. Ding ding. Looking back. Bike rides past. Ding ding ding. Close up of guy's mouth saying ding. He rides off. We look at each other. Start laughing. A. It doesn't really work, does it? B. Haha, no. Guy passes people in front of us. Ding ding. Picture of a bell. Goes. Ding ding. June 24th, 2016. Avocado story. We were at S. Outside shot of store. My brother was at one end of the aisle reading a magazine. K reading magazine at one end. I was at the other pushing the cart. Swing shot to zoom of me behind the cart. I decided to run the cart over to him for whatever reason. Charge! As I reached full speed, something crazy happened. An avocado that had been resting in the baby seat of the cart popped out from one of the leg wells. I'm free! Flag in hand shot. It fell under my foot. Oh no! Sad face. Dead face. And exploded. Pit disappeared. I went sliding down the entire aisle on the avocado's remains until I got to my brother. Shot of cart pulling me on one leg down aisle, and slipped over, pulling the cart down on top of me. Cart fell over. It was the funniest thing I'd done in the supermarket. Us laughing. We're just ha 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 on screen. I still have a dent in my shin where the cart fell. Picture of cat leg with dent in it, caused by avocado arrow pointing towards it. Now I eat avocados every week to assert my dominance over their kind, cutting into an avocado. I still wonder where the pit went. Old wrinkled pit under the shelving with flag. I'm still here. June 24th, 2016. Avocado tail, scene length. We were at S, 37 frames. My brother was at one end of the aisle reading a magazine, 71 frames. I was at the other end pushing the cart, 71 frames. I decided to run the cart over to him for whatever reason, 96 frames. As I reached full speed, something crazy happened, 80 frames. An avocado that had been resting in the baby seat had popped out of one of the leg wells, 117 frames. It fell under my feet, 50 frames, and exploded, 41 frames. I went sliding down the aisle on the avocado remains until I got to my brother, 89 frames, and slipped over pulling the cart down on top of me, 82 frames. It's the funniest thing I've done at a supermarket, 72 frames. I still have a dent on my shin where the cart fell on me, 82 frames. Now I eat avocados every week to assert dominance over their kind, 104 frames. I still wonder where the pit went though, 81 frames. End credits, 48 frames. June 24th, 2016. My name is Jay and I'm mentally ill. It's embarrassing to talk about, but it's better to do than sit in the house by myself all day hoping to get better. I'm bipolar with paranoid delusions and potentially schizophrenic tendencies. The delusions are pretty much constant and not fun. I feel like people are watching me constantly wherever I go, and at times think there are people watching me through my television. I know it's probably just a form of narcissism, but it's not like I think I'm worth being watched all the time. But for the last 6 months or so, that's what it's felt like I'm being constantly surveilled by some group of people. They take the time to put people in public where I go, and they signal with hand gestures and body language that they're part of the group and are watching me. As you can tell, my mental state isn't great. I was suicidal just before last Christmas and honestly psychotic, and my fiance had me committed to a psych ward for a few days. It sucks being handcuffed in your own living room by the police and brought into a hospital. You feel gross being someone else's property, even if it was for my own good, which it honestly was. She did the right thing. I'm on psych meds now, but the paranoia is still there. I rarely leave the house at all unless we're going to the store, and even then it's like those people, the watchers, are still there. The problem with being mentally ill, other than the embarrassment of not being normal, is knowing that you have to learn to distrust and constantly reevaluate your perspective. That there are times when you outright just can't trust what you're seeing, hearing, or feeling, because there's a good chance, based on your history, that it's not happening the way you think it is. Oftentimes, in the moment, there's no way to break out of your subversive thought set, and you don't notice that your mood is flipping or you're getting worse. After getting out of the ward, there's a large movement of are you getting better? It's not that you're not trying to be well, but there is a very real adjustment period where you are not yourself, or I suppose yourself at your worst, where nothing is making sense and you want things to go back before your diagnosis and obvious sickness being given a permanent name, and as a result a set of feelings associated with it and having to deal with those as well. I attempted to find work after getting home, but I wasn't ready. Lasted a month. I can't seem to handle being around people other than my fiance, and it's still bad. I can't go out to the movies without getting upset from people being rude, and my BS tolerance is very thin. Add on the constant paranoia, and it makes for very few periods of enjoyment that aren't solitary or in extremely limited doses. It's a slow road back to cognitive wellness. Along with the shame of being ill, there's the newly noticed feelings toward those around you. You close off even with the person you trust the most. You become so reclusive that you don't leave the house for more than a few hours a week, if that, and you know it's a drain, and it's not fair to the people in your household sharing the bills, but you just can't seem to get outside today. Even the backyard is too open. The curtains have to be drawn, and someone has to be playing on the television, or you're absolutely alone again, effectively making your condition worse without understanding that that's what you're doing. It took this long to start talking to my fiance properly again. I didn't trust her. It's hard to trust someone else when you literally can't trust yourself, because if you say enough of the wrong things, back to the ward you go. You shouldn't need to have a discussion about it, but you do need to talk about it, or it's just another unresolved issue you're not dealing with. So it's about 6 months since I started getting really ill, and it's been a slow crawl back to some semblance of normalcy. We decided to start a business together, her making soaps and fashion items, and me making shirts from designs I'm making and animating our journey. We're going to try and join the local weekend market to sell them there. It shouldn't be too hard, hopefully, as I was selling my artwork there when I started getting ill, but I had to stop because I ran out of money, spent too much time making pieces and didn't know how to market or price them to sell them properly. So I've moved on to learning how to animate and creating a series about our lives in P. I've tried making a shirt out of vinyl, but it took me an hour and a half to remove the excess pieces of vinyl from the design, so we're saving to start screen printing. I'm going to try and sell most of my stuff we don't need to pay for it. I'm going to make the screens myself with a miter saw and a staple gun. Once we get to that point, I'll make videos of getting started, what it's like, selling at the market if we get back in, hopefully on projects like that. Hopefully we'll do well enough to eventually work on the tech designs I've got drawn out. It's my end goal if I could work on anything. June 25th, 2016. Work on the animatics tomorrow. Figuring out the imagery may be difficult, but it's worth figuring it out, and this is the tool set you have to work with. June 25th, 2016. The constant pain is coming back. Been a couple weeks of it, and it's starting to affect my sleep cycle again. I forget that it used to happen all the time. I wonder if it's the muscular dystrophy. Been feeling weak lately too. I know the cold makes it worse, but I seem to hurt equally on a hot day too. I'm not looking forward to seeing how this turns out. It probably can't get much better. Best to get the weight off now while the metabolism is still young enough to warrant the change. I think I figured out what part of the problem is. I don't have the ability to filter anything out anymore. There's no more being in my own world. Reality is affected by me and vice versa, and I've lost the functionality of being able to pretend it doesn't. What are you supposed to do in the information that you're Peter? Why did a group of people at a convention, the first one I went to by myself, happen to talk about the lady and her daughter getting a piece of art for free? Art lovers deserve it. Why is my existence significant? How many times do people answer questions as I'm walking past that I've not asked anyone or told by walking by myself? It keeps happening. It's unreal. I'm going to get very sick before I go. That's going to suck. Do I want to be doing animation? No, not really, but it's something I could learn to do really well, and talking about my life might be interesting for someone else. At least I'll be able to pretend things didn't happen in that timeline. Things either will work out or they won't. If they don't, I don't have anything else to offer. This is a silly existence. June 25th, 2016. Break the movies into scenes, go through the audio and sync the dialogue to the mouth shapes of doing a person, animate the scene, adjust the animations to sync properly, bring the scenes into iMovie, release it on YouTube. June 25th, 2016. Cat's Tail, Episodes 1. You can take as long as you need and develop the style you want. It will take months to make this, but if you take the effort, then it'll be worth it, and once it's done, it only has to be done once. See it as a comic, draw it out as a comic, then those are your animatics done. That's our house. House shot. P. We live on the P side of the PG border, about 20 minutes from downtown P if the traffic is going our way. Go through the front door into the living room, pan to the couch in the living room doing a U-turn. Focus on me working in the iPad. That's me, Jay. I'm the guy that made this, and I did so on this iPad Pro right here. Zoom in on me on couch front shot, so you see me focusing on drawing, and then hold the iPad Pro and pencil up to the camera on the words on this iPad Pro right here. Then it changes view to over the shoulder for the next scene, drawing the character talking, or a smaller version of the same scene. It was a lot of work, but I wanted to see if I could do it, and see if I could learn to animate at all, because it's something I wanted to learn to do since I was tiny. It kept me busy while I was in recovery. I've got some illnesses. I'm mentally ill, bipolar 1, shot of red and blue heads, angry and sad over main head with lines down the shoulder, with paranoid delusions, ghost face. have made me pretty much a recluse these last 6 months since my psychotic break and my first day in a mental ward the week before last Christmas. I'll go into that later on. It's only part of the story. I also have muscular dystrophy. It's a muscle-wasting condition where your body turns your muscle into fat and eats through it. I'm not skeletal, and if I'm lucky, it won't end up in a wheelchair, but I get weak and tired easily, and I get bedridden after a few hours of being on my feet, and it'll probably lead to my death eventually in some way. Something will stop functioning and I'll collapse, or I'll just start to waste away. I'm not going to be a downer, but it's what I've got dealt genetically, and it's something to keep in mind. I've also got some other issues like ADHD 1, primarily inattentive, with a 99% severity rating and a pervasive lack of determination to get anything done. I don't know if it's from years of being told I can't do stuff and accepting it as truth, or if I'm just lazy. Probably a combination of both, I suppose. Before my MD diagnosis, I was given an early diagnosis of cerebral palsy. I couldn't move my limbs as a baby without screaming. Turns out it was a misdiagnosis, as my blood doesn't show the enzymes associated with cerebral palsy, but I didn't learn that until I was 25, though. It was pretty shocking, though understandable. It's under the same medical umbrella, and muscular dystrophy can appear cerebral palsy-like in your early years. I wouldn't begrudge my doctors in any case. They got a 2.2, 26-week-old preemie with a bad heart out the door with a treatment plan available at the time. I almost had open heart surgery 2 days into life because a valve wouldn't open, but they were able to get it to work. I spent the first 3 months of my life in an incubation unit next to other severe preemies attached to hoses and monitors to regulate my food and oxygen and to make sure my vitals were working properly. At some point, one of the nurses disfigured my face by putting all the tubing through one nostril instead of spreading them out between the two. As a result, one of my nostrils is larger than the other, and my nose doesn't really function properly. I asked to get it fixed when I was 7, since it was a case of malpractice, and my parents took me in to get it sorted, but after the doctor said they could fix it, they told him they didn't want to fix it because I wouldn't be their Jay. It was the first real instance of my parents disregarding my feelings towards something for their own sake. Not to say they didn't help me growing up. They got me physical therapy when I was a child so I could walk. I was able to get leg casts instead of getting to join the local soccer team in primary school to combat the issue of toe walking. I was even given a special heated waterbed in my room so I could sleep properly. I've been in constant pain since I was a child. Muscle aches, spasms, and stiffness made it so I didn't have the energy to do much and rarely left the house or my bedroom. Those warm beds made it so much easier to sleep. I would still take hours to get comfortable, and I used to headbang for hours on end most nights because there's nothing to do when you're in constant pain other than find a way to try and ignore it. It started when I was a baby. I would rock violently against the crib until I fell asleep. It took decades to stop being able to do it to sleep like a normal person. June 25th, 2016. Zoom to door, open door, go into living room, U-turn to face couch. We're sitting on the couch in the lounge. I'm not sure what I want the show to be about. Do I want to make a sitcom or something more serious? I know I want to be it about us living in P, going to the H, the M and SP, and GW. And I want it to be about starting your business, you making soaps and getting into the market and being at the market. But I also know I want to talk about being mentally ill and disabled and what it's like being committed and being in recovery. I think I can make it funny. It'll let me talk about the serious stuff as well. Maybe it'll be a sitcom. Netios, that's good. It seems like you're on the right foot. You have an idea of what you want to do, so you can start there. Netios leaves the room to go into the TV room. Jay starts to write on his iPad, then gets up and goes into the TV room. Jay, how are you doing, bub? Netios, I'm trying to find music for my vid and I'm having trouble finding something that's not too 70s or sounds like it's from a porno, you know? Bushes everywhere. Jay, any luck? Netios, none. I'm going crazy. Jay, I think I'm going to write down exactly what we're saying as dialogue as the script. Netios puts on some hot flute music. Netios, that's not what I want. I like the composer, but it's not what I want. They sit and play some more music. Netios, I'm having a hard time here. What's this? She plays a funky piano and guitar theme. She chuckles to herself. Ha ha ha, it's so funky. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff right here. What's this? Eerie cello music plays. Netios, oh my god, YouTube, come on. She clicks on to the next thing. Xylophone music. Well, that could work. Beat. What's it? Does it get better? No. She moves on. Piano music plays. Oh my god, that's not what I want. This is so frustrating. Jay, yeah. Funk guitar riffs play. Netios, that's a little too intense for me. I should just go with the mermaid one. What's it called? I wrote it down. Have you seen my recipe book anywhere? Hot flute blares out. Jay, that's loud. Netios, sorry. She plays another one. No. Jay, want to take a break and go for a hike? Netios, Kate. Ooh, aubergine time? It plays. Perfect. It's perfect. Aubergine time. It's not too porno-y. I should have been able to download it, hopefully. What are you typing out? Jay, I'm writing down our conversation as a scene. Netios, right now? Me looking at various types of library music? Jay, yes. She looks down at the puppies on the floor before the couch. What you doing, pups? L, face farts. Face farts. Ha. Damn it. There's no way to download these. I know you can download the MP3s somehow. Okay, I'll have to look it up. Jay, shall we get ready? Netios. You have to download something called Document 5. It's a YouTube app. Jay, can we get ready? Netios. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm taking a break, so I might as well do some ads. This is my first one, so bear with me. So, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's pretty cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And all you have to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Please visit anchor.fm/divergentmind to leave a message so that I may get back to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.